Welcome back to the Quicker State 400 pre-race show. I'm Pat Jaggers, and joining me now is a very special guest. Fast today in practice, looking good the first session, and hopefully you guys got a good car today for qualifying. But it's Kyle Larson, driver of the number 42 Chip Ganassi Chevy. Kyle, a quick story for you real quick. You know, everybody has their different ways of how they become a huge fan of NASCAR. So for my mom, who's actually filming this for us today, she became a huge fan of yours 2 years ago in 2017 here at Kentucky Speedway. And for the longest time, you know, she wasn't real familiar with who you are because you were still new to the scene and still trying to establish yourself. She, for the longest time, kept on calling you Seth Larson. She goes, man, that Seth Larson, he can really race. That's Seth Larson, he's talented. So my first question for you, Kyle, is has anyone ever been told you're a huge fan, but they mistake you for somebody else?
I'm sure it's happened a lot. You know, we race in the South a lot, so a lot of people can't pronounce Kyle Larson. It's usually Carl Larson. I get mistaken for, Chase Elliott, Stenhouse quite frequently. So I don't know if it's the blue or whatever that I typically have on, but yeah, I mean, it happens. I've never heard Seth Larson before, but hey, as long as she's a fan.
Exactly, and hey, she knows your name now. But after practice today, what is your first impressions of the track? What's different? What's new? What's the same? What do you think?
Well, they added some VHT to the upper 2/3 of the track, and so we're running higher than we typically do for a Friday. So yeah, I mean, I think it'll make the racing a little bit better here at Kentucky. This is a tough place to pass, so I think any extra options we have will be good. But I felt like our car in first practice was really good. Second practice, we were off pretty bad, so hopefully we can dial it in for tomorrow's race.
And then hopefully you guys will. But the good thing is you guys did find that speed at some point. But speaking of speed, the one thing that we kind of haven't seen out of Chevys here is consistency and consistently being able to find speed when it comes to the race. You and Kurt Busch, you guys both were very fast today for the most part. Why do you think it is that besides you, Chevys can't really find speed here?
Well, I mean, I would say the Hendrick guys have been consistently fast, and Kurt's been consistently fast. I've been decent at times, but not as good as those guys I mentioned. So I don't know. We just got to keep working hard to figure out how to get that speed and like you said, be consistent.
Right, and Kyle, I know you're really busy, so we'll get this thing wrapped here up in a second. But my next question for you: are you a bourbon guy? Do you like bourbon at all?
No, I don't even know if I've ever had bourbon.
Really? So I mean, you're in Kentucky. You got to try bourbon at least once.
Yeah, maybe. I don't know. We'll see. Probably not tonight with having a race tomorrow, but if I ever come back for the Derby or anything, yeah, I'll for sure try some.
Well, if you ever do come back for the Derby, for the Kentucky Derby, that is, make sure you hit me up because ESPN Louisville, we're your place for the race, and I'm telling you, we have all the VIP hookups. I'm telling you, our radio station, we take care of everybody with the Derby. But one of my last questions for you, Kyle, in your opinion, who do you think is one of the most underrated drivers in terms of talent right now in the series?
I would probably say, I hope to see Matt Benedetto do really good someday. He's had a lot of bad luck this year. I've grown up with him, so I've known the talent that he's had for forever. And yeah, I think to me, him or Corey LaJoie, those are two guys that I think are underrated and hopefully can get the opportunity they deserve someday down the road. Like I said, Matt's in a lot better ride than he's been in years past, but he's had so much bad luck this year, so he hasn't really gotten to showcase what he's capable of. I think he finished fourth at Sonoma. That's definitely a driver's track, so I think right there it shows how good he is.
Well, there it is, and I have to agree with you. I think Matt DiBenedetto, he's like the common name that people bring up in terms of a guy that's really talented, but if he can ever get in better equipment, he could be really successful. But my last question for you, Kyle, is I ask this to every driver I talk to that I haven't talked to before just because you never know the response you're going to get. But what is the craziest fan request or funniest experience you've ever had that was just absolutely bizarre?
I don't know. I try to forget them, I guess, the nasty ones.
So there's been nasty ones. I mean, anything as mild as somebody asking you to sign their baby?
Yeah, I mean, you get asked that, but I typically don't sign the baby. I just don't like signing flesh, because usually it's hot outside and they're sweaty and it kills your Sharpie, and it's just disgusting. So any fans listening or watching, please don't ask me to sign your skin.
Well, there it is. You got to think of the Sharpie first when you're gonna go and sign some flesh. But once again, he's Kyle Larson. Kyle, thank you for joining us, and good luck tomorrow on tomorrow's race.
Yep,
thank you.
Yep, thanks.
Really do appreciate it.